Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're doing my nails. We're removing my cutie little bunny set, which I loved so much and had on for probably 5 weeks, I want to say. A long time. My nails were driving me up the wall at this point because they were so long, and it's been a really long time since I've had them this long. So it was time for these to go. Mind you, this is probably one of my favorite sets that I've had on in quite some time. I think because it was like kind of simple. It was one of my favorite color combos, but it was really cute, and it wasn't like too much, so I was really pleased with it. But anyways, I'm just filing through the set, and then I'm soaking off an acetone for a fresh start. I definitely remember I had a bit of lifting, I think, on my edges. They were quite dry. I just wanted to start again. Every once in a while I'll do this where I'll just take it completely back, foil wrap it, the whole deal. I wear gloves. It speeds up the process a little bit because it traps the heat and stops the acetone from evaporating, but it also makes it a lot easier if I'm removing and filing the other hand. So I'll foil wrap my one hand, put a glove on, and then I'll file back my other hand, if that makes sense. Keep everything in place. And then I'm just going through with my usual prep. Not doing too long of a prep routine in this video, but started by pushing back my cuticles and then using my little nib bit and getting up under the edge there, as well as exfoliating the sidewalls, because like I said, my nails were quite dry and crispy, so my skin was as well. I had probably fallen off the cuticle oil bandwagon at that point, which is not good. Cuticle oil twice a day, but you know, it happens. Sometimes we forget. But then just snipping off any of the dead skin as well. My nails were all different lengths at this point from the last set. Like it was craziness. So I'm matching. I don't even want to say as best as I can. I'm matching-ish. I'm not getting too accurate. Like, I'm getting close, but I'm not too fussed about it because my index fingers were quite a bit shorter than the other fingers, stuff like that. So I'm getting in the ballpark, but I'm not too fussed about it. A lot of my clients, especially these days, really are more so like, I just want to grow them. I don't care if they're mismatched length, like just get them like matching shape. I'm finding that to be kind of what people are into these days, which is really cool. More so to be focusing on like personal taste rather than like what other people say, if that makes sense, what the beauty standard says. So I really do like that as a thing, that people are less, I don't know, feeling like they need to follow the societal norms. I'm just going in with my zombie base coat here and doing a thin layer on all of my nails, and then I'm going to cure them. I show random, I show like 3 fingers, I don't know. Anyways, I usually start with my thumb. I don't know why I didn't this time around. But then we're jumping right into the color application. I'm using Devox Vanta Black here, which is such a great full coverage black. And then I'm using the gel bottle for the other colors I'm applying, which, look at the comparison. Look how streaky that is and thin, which there's a time and a place for a thin color, but in comparison to the Vanta Devox colors, I don't think there is much of a comparison. But the color combos I'm using today, I really love. They're so pretty. And oh, I guess I didn't even explain this video. We're doing a set inspired by Chopova Lowena, which is a designer brand that I love. They're very fun. They do a lot of kilts made of recycled fabrics, and like I don't even know how to describe it, but basically they're one of my favorite brands. They're super cool. So I wanted to do a set inspired by them. So I'm kicking things off here. You can see I have the image in the left corner to show what each nail is inspired by. The base I'm doing right now is inspired by the tights that the girl is wearing. They're like these little doodly tights with hearts and stars all over them. So that is what I'm setting up here as my base. And then here I'm going in and doing a red and black plaid similar to the underskirt of this look. If you guys know my personal style, then I don't want to say that if you know my personal style, because you guys see what I wear to the studio, and a lot of the time it's a lot of nothing, a lot of big t-shirts and jeans, but this is very much like my vibe. Chopova Lowena is. I'm not going to get too much into describing this nail because, spoiler alert, I ended up filing it off and redoing it. So I'll talk about it then when I'm actually doing it how I wanted to. But I thought I'd leave in kind of me doing it the first time around and then like filing it off, because that's just something that happens sometimes. Sometimes you hate a nail. I believe I just felt it was too white, the line work. Like there's too much white line work. And then see that little heart on the sleeve of that shirt there? That's what I'm going in and drawing, not with the wings, so I'm just doing the heart, but that's what I'm drawing here on this nail. So I'm doing a bit of a combo situation. Tights from the one look, then the heart on the sleeve of this one shirt. This one wasn't on the runway, so I couldn't use the runway look. And I'm going back in and trying to get rid of some of the white element of this nail, but it just gets worse. So, I mean, no matter which way I could have left it, it could have been fine, but I was just being picky. Yeah, it doesn't look good there though. I'll tell you that for free. And so there I am wiping it off. The base layers were done with alcohol ink, so that wipes away with acetone, and then I just filed off the gel that I had cured on there, and then I just go in with another layer of the red. This person is wearing fishnet gloves. It's a little bit harder to see, but that is where this look comes from. So I'm doing like not an entire nail, just kind of a little center focused fishnet situation. And so I'm just drawing out the lines for starters, getting them where I want them. I'm not worried about being too precious about it because I didn't really want them to be like perfectly precise. I kind of wanted it to just be feel a little more casual. And then I'm going to go in, once I've got all the lines mapped out where I want them, I'm going to go in and kind of round out the inner bits. So it's not feeling too like crisscrossy, it's feeling more like a fishnet tight. And how you kind of have that little like almost diamond join between each of the sections. Does that make sense? Sometimes I talk and I'm like, are these real words? Are these real explanations that I'm saying? And then here I'm drawing the flame and skull and crossbones that's on the chest of this hoodie. I love these hoodies so much. They're so cute. They have frill around the hood. There's this one kind of more maroon colored hoodie. It's like a maroonish brown color. I forget what's on the front of it, but I know I love it so much. I have it saved on my Essence wish list, but they're like $700 hoodies. So, you know, girls got to be making more YouTube videos to afford that kind of hoodie, unfortunately. But so I'm just mapping that out here, using my D-gel liner gels, painting gels for all this kind of detail work. I'm doing a second layer of the red in that heart. That's what I was just showing. And here we are for round 2. So I'm using the Mostive inks, alcohol inks, and I'm just layering over to get kind of like, I love inks for doing plaids because they're kind of sheer, you get that kind of over, like the layered effect. So I'm just doing that. These are air dry, inks air dry, which is awesome. So they're really fun for layering. They're easy, they dry so quickly, especially if you're working in thin layers. And then instead of using the gel like I was using last time, I'm going in with a white alcohol ink and I'm just dipping my brush right into the bottle. And I'm doing less white lines. And I felt like this was a lot better, even if it wasn't exact on with the plaid. I was fine with that. It's just giving the general essence of that plaid. So I'm just going over and doing that. I mean, yeah, just layering it up until I'm satisfied with the effect. You gotta be careful though. Don't use your finest brushes when you're using alcohol ink because it's just like dipping them in alcohol. Back in with the D-gel Ginny liners or painting gel. These gels are really great for detail stuff. I don't love them for filling in stuff because they're a bit stiff, but they do the trick for sure. But for stuff like this where I'm just doing small amounts, they're awesome. They're really full coverage. And then I'm just doing a little bit of outline work on that heart. And in addition to the outline, I'm just mapping out where that little highlight, you can see on the heart, there's just like a little highlight, but it's like a layered highlight. So I was just laying down the black first and I'm gonna go over in white after that. But I'm popping that little face on the skull. And then doing, it's not a full outline, so I'm doing like this kind of partial sketchy outline that is on the image on the hoodie. And I'm going to do that all the way around the skull, but then also around the flames. I really need to get some more brushes though. I know you can fix brushes when they go a little haywire, but I've definitely buggered some of mine up beyond repair. I need to get some more. I have like 2 functioning brushes. If you guys have any favorites, let me know. But I'm doing the little chain effect nail, and that's to represent, I mean, I use the image here showing the kind of body change that Chopova does, but they do a lot of great necklaces that are really like mix and match, charm heavy. They do bracelets, anklets, body chains clearly. So that's what this nail is representing. A little butterfly. And then on those fishnet gloves, there was also some metal detailing around the wrist, so I'm just popping on some metal beads. I'm using the McCart rhinestone glue there. I like a tubed gel when I'm applying charms. That, and I like the Jinbei Ivy gel. And then I go over anything metal, especially, or pearl, I go over it with more gel to really lock it in. And then I'm just top coating this hand because then we're moving on to the next hand, and I want this one locked in so I can pop a glove on so I don't destroy it. So moving over to the next nail, I've base coated everything aside from this one nail, which I am using this textured black gel. And then going over with this yellow, and this is the Bevel Amalgam gel, the yellow one is, and I'm using that going over the gel to replicate the plaid of that sweater that person is wearing. They've got that fluffy sweater on, so I thought using these 2 products combined would be a nice way to kind of create that effect. The yellow gel, the amalgam gel that I'm using, I thought it was non-white, but it is a white product. You do have to top coat it, so I was riding this out with no top coat on it. The black gel you do not. That is who makes, oh, Blanc de Bleu antique gel is the black gel, but that is non-white, but the yellow is, so I should have put either a glossy or a matte top coat over top of the yellow line work. I didn't, but you should. My preference for textured gel is that they're all non-white because I like having the texture. I don't want to have to smooth it out a bit by top coating it. I think it kind of defeats the purpose a little bit. And then this nail, I'm just doing, see the design kind of behind the girl on the shirt? It's kind of that bit of a wavy design. I'm doing that. Or an ode to that. I wasn't trying to replicate it completely. I'm also using my non-dominant hand, so the filming is a little bit, she's a little dodgy at the moment. Cute. And then you can see the sweater he's wearing, the red sweater with the pink bows. That's what I'm doing for this nail. I created this charm in a mold I have using resin. And then again, we're doing some more chains. I'm doing this one sideways so I can do quite a bit of dangly bits, charms. Kind of how her body chain going across her belly is. So I'm just using these little caviar beads. I got this rounder of caviars from my trip to Japan, but I definitely love having all the sizes. It's really nice. And then I start by using a couple little beads to make the little hanging section, for which I will attach technically, or make it look like the charms are attached. And then I'm just grabbing random silver little beads. And then you can see the graphic on this person's shirt. I made airbrush stencils to look like this graphic. They're not spot on because cutting a detailed stencil at that size doesn't necessarily always work that well. You can't get such tiny details. You can see I'm struggling to pop out some of the pieces here. But I did my best, and I do think it looked really, really cool. It actually ended up being one of my favorite nails. So I'm layering that over top because I'm going to be spraying that down with green. It's not easy to get lined up. And then I have to place this around the outside to block the rest, which I could have made a stencil that had the two combined. I'm still getting used to making detailed stencils. It was a learning curve, but setting that up the way I need it. And then going over with the light green. And then once I've got that all done, I'll top coat them all. And here we have it, the full Chopova Lowena set. Let me know what you guys think down below. Which nail is your favorite nail? I've got a good little close-up of them all. And I will catch you guys in the next video.